We're back. It's Wednesday. Ooh. All right. What up? How's everybody? Oh, this mouse, man. Every time I get started, you got the mouse right there. Woo. So another week. As you guys already know, Lowriding Scale magazine. This is March 2015. And I hate to break it to you guys, but this is the last issue that came out. And this is the last issue that I own in my collection. So we're going to go ahead and, look through the magazine, preview it, check the whole thing out, share it with you guys, my first time impressions and everything with you guys. So as you see on the cover, we have Mr. Champion's 67 Impala right there. The movement, hoppers, and servos, Riddler in scale contest. And also at the top, custom paint for less. All right, before we get started, guys, and we move forward, I just got to double check, make sure that we are actually live. Everything's good on my end before I proceed. All right, we are live. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and get into it right here. And I got to say, it's cold, man. It's cold now. So, all right, here we go. And also, just to add, obviously, to it, we were in Atlanta not too long ago, and we were hanging out with David Champion. David Champion flew out there with Frankie, as a lot of people know him as Frankie the Greaser, Boulevard Resin. They flew out together, and we linked up with them, and we had a great time. And man, we're gonna end up seeing his car right here in the mag. So let's go ahead and flip through it. So as you can see, we start to get the first page, the order back issues on MacLeod. If you guys don't have any of these issues, we pretty much previewed all these issues on here on the channel. I would recommend you check out MacLeod.com and pick up these issues. They're still available. Get them while you can. Some really neat articles in there. And look at that right there. You get a little preview right there of a model with the it's pretty much a hopper with some servos right there all set up. Yeah, there's a lot of cool articles in here, but obviously when we flip through these, we read a little bit from the articles and we mostly show you the images, but like I said, you guys could always pause it and read these articles and stuff. And, we kind of go from there. So let's see here. So the first feature we got in the magazine here, Orange Juiced. And let's read a little bit about this. It says, a few builders complete a model in a matter of 2 weeks, but John Anthony Perales, and he's from Psychotic MCC, kicked it up a notch by building a functional car with working hydraulics in just 2 short weeks. Man, 2 weeks. That's crazy. He started with the Fu 64 kit by Ravel and first painted it Mandarin orange interior and rims. Pegasus 113s also match the color of the Impala. The car has 3 servos setup, controlled by 3 switches, and can perform front and back, side to side. This is possible because one of the servos controls the front while the other 2 servos controlling each other. Each one of the rear wheels. The front end is complete. Man, that's dope. So, the 64 Impala, as you guys can see right here, it's a really good canvas if you guys are interested in getting into hoppers. One of the things is in the trunk, there's enough space that you could fit a couple of servos in there. Later in the future, I'll do a video where I'll take you into my 64 and I'll open up the trunk and show you the servo setup, how I have it in there. I really need to go back and revisit that car and bring it to life. On my Instagram, I had found an old video. This is like before the reels, before all that, when you could only get, I think, like 10 seconds of video. And I ended up recording my 64 hopping there at my parents' house. And then I had also a 63 that I made hop. at some point. But then, you know, it's one of those things. Once you mock them up and everything, you can get them hopping. You take them apart, you paint them, you get them ready, and then when you're putting everything together and rewiring everything, it wasn't performing. I was like, what's going on? You know, it was just one of those things. So I need to go back there and visit. Let's see who's in the chat. What up, Slowly Models? Leon, Model Car 1589. What's up, man? How you doing? How are you guys? Thank you for joining. So you guys just got here just in time. This is the first, you know, feature right here in the mag. And then this is the cover as a reference right there. So so the cool thing about this car is it's pretty much controlled by servos right there. So it says that there's 3 servos. Fun thing about the servos is, you know, like on the one Impala that I have, it had 2 servos in the back and then also had a little motor. The servos were independently controlling the back 2 wheels. So this way it would lift up the Impala, and then the other motor was pretty much like a, I don't want to say it's a toggle switch, but it's like you do hit it forward and then back, which pulls a fishing line string and would pretty much make the front arms, you know, just kind of hit down and pull, and it would just make the car jump, right? He did it a bit different. So I think his is more like for like stance, you know, but it's pretty cool. This is one of the things you do have to do. You have to cut out the wheel wells right there. So when I'm looking at this now, I do somewhat understand what went into it, like the kind of work he did. And it looks really clean, very clean, because even in the bottom right there, it just looks really clean. He did a great job hiding the wiring. You could tell it's probably running internally. But right here, you could see a little bit of the fishing line. It's in clear. You could kind of see it in there. I don't know if you can see it, but there it is right there. Jerry, what's up, man? What up, dude? Thank you for joining, bro. Let's see. So, so yeah, this is a nice model, man. I wonder, you know, like every car we see on here, I wonder if it still exists, if it's still out there. It's pretty nice. Hey, Jerry, it was great seeing you on Sunday, man. I hope you didn't get home too late from the show. All right, let's check out this next car here. It's called the 2012 Summer Buildoff winner, Chris Thoby. Let's see. We have, in 2012, there was a Summer Buildoff, and this 62 Impala built by Chris Thoby was the winner. If you are new to this magazine, the coverage of the Buildoff was lost during a system crash. As we contact the builders of the Buildoff, we will be featuring builders from that issue, and it was only right to start with the winner. Man, that's crazy. Like if you think about it, you know, when it says here that there was a system crash, you know, you got to think like during this time, you know, we're saving, you know, think about it like anything. You're saving MP3s, you're saving files, photographs, a bunch of stuff, you know, and hard drives. I remember having a hard drive and even that, like losing a lot of data. So I could understand, you know, why there was pauses from a year and then jumping forward to like 2015, because we were doing the 2012 reviews, previews, and now we're in 2015. And like it says right here, 2012 Summer Buildoff winner. Man, that's a trip. In the future, I would love to interview the owner, writer, publisher of this magazine. I got to ask him these questions and, you know, hear it from him, and also the motivation and everything that came about this magazine. Lane Low Hobbies, what's up, man? Thank you for joining. Let's see here. So let's check out the interior right there. It's a custom interior with some material right there. It's a nice paint job. Custom paint. Pretty sure it was airbrush. It might be House of Color. I mean, this is 2012. House of Color was pretty hot still at that time. The bottom, some of these parts look chrome plated. I wonder if they are. I'm not sure, but they kind of do. And then we see the pump setup right there. The pipe sticking out. That looks like a pretty realistic photo right there of the vehicle. Let's see. At first glance, some may think this is an AMT kit, but this is the Revell 62 Impala SS hardtop California Wheels edition. This kit came from a guy known on layitlow.com as Ghetto Build. Let's see. And was shipped from Hawaii to Ohio, where Chris resides. Dang, right on. Let me see. I'm trying to see the paint. All right, here we go. For the actual paint, he started with duplicate color silver metal specks, followed by hours of laying tape lines, and inspired from the El Rey 63 Impala. Oh, yeah. You could see some reference to that right there in the colors. Let's see. He says the car was then wrapped with 6 colors of candy by House of Color, being buried with rubber seal automotive paint. Let me see. Chris, first attempt at a patterned out paint job to push himself to the next level. He painted the belly of the car to match. That's dope, man. And then it says for interior, he wanted to do a Tingo style interior. Oh, that's cool. Right on. Look at the, let's look at under the hood. What stands out to me right here, I've never done this. This looks flaked out underneath. Unless it's a different effect or something, but this looks like flake. That's pretty interesting. Right there. I mean, I'm sure with the sun, it probably gave a more of a reflection and shine right there. That's pretty interesting. Oh, and then look at let's go back to the trunk. Look how how this is molded and how he added that right there. I mean, it looks kind of big, like it's sticking out. But, you know, you can always do something a bit more minimal where this way you could hide the you know, whether if you're using styrene or tubing, like metal tubing, you could hide that. One day I'm going to ask Luis to send me a photograph because he does a great job hiding the tubing when he hinges his models. Okay, let's go to the next page here. Chili Willy, what's up, man? Welcome back. It's Wednesday. It's crazy, man. I feel like we were just at the show. Like, I feel like, you know, the Sunday show was yesterday, and now we're in Wednesday, and it's going to be Thursday. Like, this week just went by too fast. All right, so let's see the next one. The next one's called Contract Killer. Look at that. Let's get a close-up of the mag right here. All right, let me pull this mic down. This thing's getting in the way. All right. That looks clean right there. Patterns all around. The engine's very highly detailed right there. And the trunk setup. And then we got the LUGK from Texas right here. Look at that right there. All the pattern work. All right, cool. So let's focus on the first page before we go on, and I'll show you guys the second page. So on this first page here, let's see, it says we were supposed to run this car last month's issue, but just didn't have room for it. But we promised Derek Carline that we would run it in this one. When we asked about the vehicle, here's what he told us. The 64 Impala was built for a build-off that took the best of show. The car name is Contract Killer. It's a pretty dope name, pretty hard. And has all kinds of photo-etch parts. It also has a fully functional suspension. The car has 3 micro servos that enables the car to be able to hit front, back, side to side, and 3-wheel motion. All movements controlled from a detachable switch box that connects to the hidden port under the belly of the car. Oh, that's pretty dope. Yeah, so we focus back into this first photo here. You'll notice the grill. The grill is photo etch. I mean, there's the detail engine parts in there. There's I could see some photo etch in there. The mesh from the radiator also looks like photo etch. that's pretty cool, man. You know, obviously, build off. So this is more like competition style, and most likely to probably enter it at local shows from that time, I'm assuming. And then also, you know, to participate in the lay it low message boards. Yeah, there we have the trunk setup. And even the LUGK, you could tell all that was cut by hand on the lettering. They did a great job right there. It looks like it has like a mirror kind of underneath, maybe a little mirror plate or something to give it like that reflection to pop out. And all right, so let's look at the next photo right here. This is focusing on the interior. Look at the steering wheel. Even that's the center area. That's photo etch. I wonder if that's the LUGK plaque or the photo etch. It's really hard to tell from here. And then here we have the rear lifted up right there. The servos. And then here's a close-up of the front grille, which looks really nice. You could tell that this was cut out right here, and they took off that middle piece. They still left the headlights. Those didn't come off. And then they just did like a black wash right there. And then just adding the photo etch. Most likely the photo etch could have been the model car's garage, I'm assuming. Because I know Detail Junkies, he did a 64 set, but this was later on. And you know him, he's always been printing photo etch. So, and they're part of the same crew. You know, I don't know if perhaps he did print some back then. Who knows? And then interesting, if you look at the exhaust, how they come out and then they shoot out to the sides as opposed to, you know, running all the way back right there. So that's pretty interesting. And then, oh, let's look at the tires. I think these are Armando's tires that everybody talks about. There they are. Yeah, they are. See them right there? Bam. Yeah, I have a set of wheels that he had gifted me, and they have the tires are in there as well. One day I'll show them to you guys. But yeah, he has those tires up on some wire wheels. Cool. All right. Let's see. Chili Willy. Where did you get that magazine? All right, bro. Let me show you. So go to this website, magcloud.com, right there. And then you could just type in LISM or Lowriding and Scale model. I mean, Lowriding and Scale magazine. I'm all butchering that right there. Just look that up, and that should come up. You should be able to find all the issues right there. That's where I got this mag. And let's see, you also say the hours it must have took to mask. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I'm sure it was all separate sessions right there, definitely. And then also Leon, he commented from the previous car that we just looked at. He said he did a nice job on the interior and trunk. Cool. All right, so let's move on to the next one here. That's crazy. This is the last issue in the series right here that we got. So this is featured builder of the month, Angel Costa. And then here we have this El Camino hitting that 3-wheel motion right there. There you have the batteries and the pumps all set up right there. And then let's see here. Let's read a little bit of the article. So it says, we wanted to start to have a featured builder in every issue where we would take a builder and feature several of their builds in an issue. And our first feature builder is Angel Costa. We relaunched this magazine. Angel submitted one of his builds. Upon further investigation, we found out that this guy had plenty of great builds, which gave us the idea of having a featured builder versus a featured car. Interesting. Let's see here. All right, let's look at the car right here. Let's do a zoom out. Not zoom out, zoom in right there. So there we got the engine bay with the engine. And then we have the switch box, as you can see right there. Some flocking on the carpet. And then here we have the other angle of the 3-wheel motion, and then with the top, the cover in the back. And then it looks like they're rocking some Pegasus wheels right here. Some wire wheels. It's pretty nice. Angel Costa right here. That's cool. Let's see, model car 1589. I got to try putting hydraulic on my model cars one day. Yeah, man. Are you talking about like this kind of a setup, or more of the electronic, like with servos and bam? All right, like switchbox and all that good stuff. Hey, one thing I will say though is, like, you know, as we're coming to the end, you'll notice like the layout of the mag, like all the articles look really clean, right? The colors, the contrast, boom, like everything just pops, you know. But man, it's crazy. All good things must come to an end, you know. That'd be bad if they brought it back. All right, so here we got Frank Fernandez, 58 vert. This is a nice 58 right here. I'm digging the tail lights, how they're sticking out. That's dope right there. Okay. So it says Frank Fernandez is one of our favorite builders. And this 58 Chevrolet Impala is one of the reasons normally we would track down a builder to find out everything that was done. But this time we just wanted to enjoy the view. Oh, this is kind of hard to read right here because it's like black. This is one of the something. The color looks period correct. That's clean, man. Even the wheels, like the wire wheels, if you look at that right there, it looks really nice and clean. Very clean work. Cruiser skirts. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen this 58 in person. But yeah, this is nice. All right, let's go to the next one. We got Eric McHuh. I hope I said that right. All right. As much as we like Revell, we were devastated when that killed the Cutlass kit they promised to produce. Well, where there is a will, there is a way, thanks to resin and the skills of builders. Dang, let's see what else. And thanks to Art World, one of the fellas, one that offers an LS Cutlass conversion kit and some body modifications, you'll have a great looking kit. Crazy. Or Cuddy. Let's look at the close-ups right here. Bam. Yeah, it looks like he's also rocking some Pegasus wheels or tires on there. And then the front, you see the LS clip, interior, the pump setup, and then he even has a Dynasty Car Club license plate. It just says Dynasty, but yeah, he's from Dynasty. Even right here at the bottom, it says Dynasty MCC. Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, so R2 Roll came out with that conversion kit. Yeah, like this car right here would look badass if it got an update. I mean, it already looks badass, but more on the wheels. If these wheels got swapped to like Lowrider model car part wheels, that would look sick right there. Well, overall, a nice build. Even the interior, like the bottom, the floors look clean right there. Man, that's crazy. Yeah, these photos hold up. Like, it doesn't look pixelated or nothing, you know? They look pretty clean. I think they did a good job with these photographs. Oh, here we go. This is the cover car right here by David Champion. Ooh, 67 convertible. The Impala right here. This is nice, man. He's got the lifestyle plaque in the back. Convertible. Ooh, look. All right. We're going to look at the interior. Look at that right there. Got a little table set up right there. Some bottles. You got the seat belts. It looks like a photo-etch steering wheel as well. Let's go ahead and look at the front right here. That's pretty nice. Bam. Yeah, this is clean. Yeah, David does a lot of builds. So he calls this one Orange Fanta. Nice. So let's read it here. It says, while some builders, including myself, take several months to build a car, David Champion knocks this 67 Impala convertible out in the month and a half. And that time slot includes all custom work. The car was first sent to Jesse the Poza, where he laid down some orange and gold pearl to create the color David calls Orange Fanta. The car was sent back to David after painting, where he wet sanded, polished, and waxed. The car was produced to the shine, as we see here, using the pre-built wired 302 under the hood of the Beast. The radiator that came in the kit wasn't real looking enough for David. Dang, this is cool, man. Look at the wheels right here. Let's check it out. That's a nice color. Yeah, I remember a long time ago buying like a set of the Pegasus wheels and being able to like take off the lip and paint it. But I never did the wires, and right here I'm looking at it, and these wires are painted inside. So I wonder how that was done. It's pretty interesting. And then even the engine detail looks pretty realistic right there. That's pretty clean. Yeah, it's a great color. I agree. Boom. All right. So now here we go. That 70s build by Mini Dreams. Mini Dreams from MCBA. Here we have a convertible and a hardtop. So let's see here. It says, let me back up. I'm over here covering the camera with my hat. Let me back up. So it says, we spotted both of these while going through the many great builds of Mini Dreams, David, Sean, and had to find out what was the story for building two 1970 Impalas, because we knew there had to be something to tell here. We were quickly informed that both were built for YouTube builds. The stock 70 was for an out-of-box month build, and the custom mix green, and liked it a lot. I wanted to build for detail 70s. All right, let me drink some water, guys. Feel like my throat is getting dry right there for a little bit. Hang on. All right, cool. Let's see what else. Added DLO Darren Ottman resin Pesco system to the trunk, and in the interior seats from Buick Regal were sacrificed along with the 96 Impala column and center console. Oh dang! Took some parts. All right, so let's get a close up of the 70s Impalas right here. Let's check them out. Right there, we got two of them. They look very clean. Let's see the interior right there. That's pretty nice. And then the Pesco pump setup in the rear for that old school aircraft look right there. And then here's a close-up of the convertible. That's pretty nice. All right, so let's check out this next article right here. It says custom paint for less. And let's see here. And then at the bottom, there's DBP flakes and candies. Man, I don't even know if they're even still around. This looks like an OG ad right here. Let's see. It reads, DBP flakes and candies are a small family business. We have one of the largest selections of ready to spray scale flakes with over 25 different colors. Interesting. Let me see here. I'm trying to see what kind of paint this is, though. I don't think it says. Yeah, because I would want to know what kind of paint. Like, is this a lacquer or is this urethane paint? You know? I would assume it's going to be a urethane, but I don't know. I mean, I don't think the site's active. I've never heard of this brand, but that's interesting. And then here, I'll leave this. That way you guys could pause it and read this later. All right. Let's see what's next. Wish list. Oh, dang. If you are new to this magazine, the wish list are works in progress that we would love to see finished, that we find online and shows under construction. Some of these builds may be complete by the time this printed, but very well try to keep up with the feature as they are completed. All right, so let's take a look at these right here. All right, cool. I was just trying to see if I recognize anything, but I don't think I do. We got one with patterns. You got another El Camino right there. Blue 63. Something about the 63 looks different. I don't know if it's like the pillar right here. This area looks different on this 63. Got a little mini truck right there. Boom. Maybe you guys recognize it. This looks like Tingo's interior right there. And here we have a van with the open door. Ford van. Oh, they put this picture twice. Up here and down here. I just noticed that. Looks like a 67. Suicide doors. Then we have this one right here. That looks interesting with the hinge going up. And then this might be a Monte Carlo, I'm assuming. That does look pretty cool, though, that photo. Katie Customs, what's up, man? And then we have some pattern work right there. Oh, look at this radical right here. All opened up. Crazy. Even those back panels are even flipping open. Look at that. Everything's opening. Wild. Then we got a 64 with the doors cut open on it. Ready for some hinging and door jams and all that good stuff. Boom. Ooh, look at this 61. This is clean right here. That looks beautiful. Look at the rear. Dang. That looks nice. Even the front, and they even got the Chevrolet letters all right there, all set up. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Let's read this. We got to read this one right here. It says, her first thought when we saw this car was, this must be Big Worm's other car. The red paint on the 61 Impala is the perfect shade, and the matching spoke really set it off. Let's see. This build is another one of our featured builder. Angel Costa is a rebuild he received by fellow club member Tito Cortez from Scale Cartel MCC. That perfect red we were speaking of is candy red shot over a gold base. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely shining, that's for sure, with that gold base right there. Great work. Then let's check out the other side right here. Oh, here, let me see. Hang on real quick. Kevin, what's up, man? How you doing? Let's see. Chevy sample age. Oh, man. It erased. Let's see. Let me check something out right here. Man, it's crazy. Like, the more we're getting to the end right here, I'm like, man, I feel bad. All right, the last page is... So, let's see here. What do we got? I'm trying to hold this so it doesn't fall off my hands. I wish this was in white, the lettering, because it's kind of hard to read in black. And for this 63 Impala, also built by Angel, he went with PPG Pearl White over a gray base. Cut in a subwoof and positioned the car in a 3-wheel motion. All right, so let's check out these first top shots right there. Looks like almost thought it was a glass house, but it's not. Then we got the 63 right here. Boom, in 3-wheel motion. Interior is red. Even the trim is red inside and the wheels. Interesting. All right, let's see. Ooh, look at this one. Suicidal 61. Let's see. Hi, Edgar. Chevy, same age as me. Dang, spell check. Right on, man. Dang. All right. Let's see. So this one is Suicidal 61, Jolly Ranchers. And then it says, I guess that's the name of the car. Built by George Cruz. Right there. Look at that. Let's get a close-up of this car. This thing looks crazy. Look at this. Yeah, it looks like they added some graphics right here. I don't know if these are decals, perhaps. I see a woman right there. See that right there? Yeah, I see some other stuff, but it's kind of hard to tell what it is. And then here's the engine. Some engine detail. Oh, I see what it is. I don't know if I should show this, though. I might have to put my hand over it. Here, I'll put my thumbs. It's like... Yeah, I don't want to show anything right there. And then we got the trunk right there. Bam. Pretty nice. This is a really nice build right there. Then let's see, what do we got over here? This is the next one is the switch, hoppers, and servos. Yeah, here we go. We get into it right here. Initially, we were going to do a how-to article on servos and hydros, but after talking to the many guys who are doing this, we quickly found out that everyone does it a little different. The basic concept is the same, but everyone has their own little secrets as how they get a car to move and hop. And since to many, this is a friendly competition between builders. All right. Boom. So right here, it's showing the stances, some of the interior right there, and then in the back you can see the 2 servos. It looks like 3. So this setup is the one I did on the 64, where I have 2 servos and a little motor. This one, it looks like has 3 servos. That one's a different kind of setup. All right. Now we get into one of the last articles of the book here. So let's see. We have Inside the Riding Scale Contest. 63 Impala. It's just like a lot of cars that are cut up. If we had to explain what the word Riddler means to the car world, we suggest you Google it and prepare to be blown away. Modelers, for the most part, have always duplicated full-size cars and trunks in a variety of scales, and this Riddler and scale contest is a top dog in the build-offs, and since this tears them in lowriders, is a must that we cover it. Oh, wow. I had no idea. I never heard of that. That's cool. Wow, look at this one right here. So this all must be from that. But what kind of car is this? This looks like a Mustang. Look at this. This top car? A Mustang. They cut the whole front end, the doors and the back. I've never pictured a Mustang to be cut like that. That's crazy. I wonder if it was ever completed. Here's another picture of the Mustang. Right there. And then we have this one. It looks like a 67 body. And it has like this like dripping effect on the roof. And then there's this other one that's like very separated. Like everything is separated. Right there. That's a trip. So yeah, this is inside the Riddler and Scale contest. So I wonder if we Google that, if more stuff would come out on this. But not sure. All right, what do we got left? Ah, the end. So this is the last page, an article here. Original Detail Junkies, aka David. Right here. Shout outs to David Bayon, aka Dig Derange. Man, it's crazy. And part of the underground, Los Underground Kings. Crazy. So let's go ahead and check out the ad right there. You can still go to his website. It's still active. He's still selling parts. Newer stuff, obviously. Boom. Right there. Wow. So this is this last issue right here, guys, of the Lowrider and Scale magazine. There is another one that they produced after this one here. And I do have that copy. But that one, it doesn't have the same title. It has a different title. And from what I'm assuming is, I think that was just like a different take. Not just focusing on lowriders. It was more, it seemed like going across the board with other types of cars, like muscle cars. You know, pretty much a lot of things outside of lowrider, you know. And obviously, I don't know. It could have been something where people might have gotten burned out. Maybe there wasn't a lot of lowrider coverage at the time, because everything has its ups and downs and peaks. You know, there's things that come out hard, and then they kind of die out, and then something else comes up. You know, depending on how long you've been in the game or just building models. You know, there's a lot of people that they've been building since, you know, the early 2000s or since the 90s, and you know. And it's one of those things where people do it for so long, but then they hit a peak and then they quit or they just step away. And it's really hard for them to come back, or they do come back and they're very motivated. You know, it's always different with what they want to do. But that was this issue right here. I'm thinking next week I'd probably most likely do the other issue. So this way we could preview that in there. I was looking through all my books and stuff, and I mean, I still have a lot of magazines and issues to cover, but I'm also kind of keeping my eye out for other things that I don't have. I've been wanting to do one of the contest issues that like Scale Auto Mag has put out, because I do have some of those issues through the years, right? It's more like I don't want to say it's a yearbook. It's just a contest book, but it's all the coverage that was covered throughout the year from all the different states and different events that they've been at. And I want to flip through it, but I'm a little intimidated just because I don't know how the flow might be with it, because it's just so many photos. I feel like it's going to take forever to go. It might be like a 2-hour, 3-hour, like, you know, flip through, but we'll see. We'll see what's up. I mean, it's still on the table. I'm not sure. Real quick, let me share with you guys something that I picked up the other day. Hang on, I'll be back. Let me grab it. All right, this thing does not end. I think these are it. All right. Oh man. like I'm playing basketball in here. You hear that? All right, let me set these down. All right, so check it out. This is what I bought the other day. Some more cartooned cars. These JDM cars. Oh, here we go. They're all numbered. This is all Series 1. You know, this was on Monday. I was out and I was driving and I was like, you know, my friend had told me, oh, they sell them at like Hobby Lobby. And I was like, all right, I'll check them out. And I've talked about this, you know, and even yesterday I was talking about it. So I saw these three were there, and I was like, well, I don't have these ones. So let me show you what I got right here. This is the '83 Toyota Celica right there. Look at this cute little thing. It's all chubby. It's a nice little car, man. So I got this one here. We also got this 71 Toyota Celica GT. And man, when you put these in the sun, I mean, that flake shines. Look at the little rear view mirrors right there. Or side view mirrors, sorry. Oh, the exhaust to the side. What? And then we got this one here, the 76 Toyota Celica. Even the artwork looks pretty crazy right there. Boom, there you go. Watch, later they're going to do some Liberty Walk, and they're going to do all these things, right? Really nice colors. So I got these here. You know, the homie Dennis, this is what it started right here. He gave me this one. This is the first JDM one he gave me. Series 1 also. The 85 Toyota Corolla. And I was like, oh, dude, what? Thank you, you know? And it's the first one. So I flipped the back, and I'm looking at all these. These are all the ones that are in the series. And I'm just kind of like, wait, what? So then, you know, I end up now getting all these. So I have like 1, 3, 7, 7, and 8 now. Boom, right there. Maybe I'll come across the other ones later, you know? But that's Series 1 right here. And then these are, I got 2 more JDM ones. Boom. These are the Series 2. Look at this one right here. This is 83 Toyota Celica in another colorway right there. I like the color in this. It has a lot of shine. You know, most likely it's a pearl. I don't think it's a metallic. It looks more of a pearl, but this is pretty cool, man. Even the wheels, everything's interchangeable. And then we got this one right here. Boom. Look at that. This orange one. 76 Toyota Celica. Pretty nice. And I think on these ones, oh yeah, this is the set for these right here. This one has a couple Supras in there and the GR86. So let's see this. These two are pretty much same, just different colorways right there. And wheels, those are different. And then obviously these two right here. Yeah, because when I was buying that, I was like, wait a minute, I think I already have this car, and I don't. It was just different colors. So, yeah, guys, there we go. It's over. I'm hooked. These things are pretty cool. These little bangers right here. That's pretty dope right here. Let me set these aside though. Thank you guys for tuning in to these. Let's see here. Let me check in with you guys in the chat. Let's see here. Slowly models. Damn, you copped more. Yup, I had to get more, bro. Got more. Let's see. Kevin Smith, I sent you an email with some of my builds. Show them if you want to. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, I have to check. I haven't checked my email. I'll let you know once I get our reply that I got them. And it says some of my airbrush paint jobs. Oh, nice. I'll have I'll have to check that out for sure. Let me see here. You know what? I think I got something else I'm gonna share with you guys here. Just let me check something real quick. How's everybody doing so far though? We're getting through the week. It's already gonna be over soon, you know. Next thing you know, so let's see here. Let me get some water, and I'm gonna show you guys something that I got. All right, cool. Bam, you guys ready? Here we go. All right, I got this from Kevin. Check it out. Boom. Kevin Smith's free guide to painting for the scale, car, plane, boat, modeler, tank, or whatever. Beginners or advanced levels. Notice this is a free guide, not to be sold for profit or gain. Warnings. Use necessary safety equipment and follow warnings on all finishing product labels. It is your responsibility to use test panels or parts prior to applying the finish to your project. And then here we have, let's see, questions or comments. Contact Kevin L. Smith. And then we have revised April 17 of 2000. Dang, that's dope. So this was back then that you put this together. I mean, we're in 2025, man. 25 years, but I wonder, you know, how far back you had put this together right there. Thank you, though. Thank you for sending me this. I know you sent this to me, you know, a while back, and I already like read through it. I looked through it and stuff, and I had it set aside because it was folded, so I had to like try to flatten it as much as I could. And I think I got it pretty flat, you know, because it was like bent, obviously, or folded to be melled out. But that's pretty dope, man. That's super cool stuff. And then as you guys can see here, we got the here, I'm gonna zoom in so you guys could see that there, the table of contents right there. Everything's very organized. Basic techniques for bodywork, primer, application, polishing technique 1, polishing technique 2, basic painting with spray cans, no polish application, lacquer paint application, and automotive enamel application. So there's all these different applications with information here, you know, from the lacquers to the nail polish and enamel. For the nail polish, Kevin, is that considered like also enamel, or no? That's a different type of paint, because I've never used it on there. So it says here, written and compiled by Kevin, 6 years in the making. This guide should be a great help to those who wish to use it. Feel free to copy it and pass it on to your friends. My reasons for making this guide is to help promote our hobby and encourage others to go to the next level so he or she may achieve and accomplish their goals. So give this guide a shot. You might find it helps in many ways. Sincerely, Kevin L. Smith. Oh, that's dope, man. I really like that that paragraph right there, man. That's pretty cool. Because, yeah, things like this, man, it definitely helps to promote the hobby, you know? Boom. And then especially, I mean, if you think about the time when you came out with this, you know, there probably wasn't any social media, you know, like a lot of apps didn't exist yet in that time. So so this pretty much just breaks down Section A, basic techniques for body work and prep. Let me pull this up for you guys to see this. That way, if you guys that are watching want to pause this, maybe you want to screenshot this right here. But it's pretty much, you know, telling you to how to prep the body with, you know, panel scribing tools. Also regarding sanding, like the different grits to sand as well. And then, let me see here. Yeah, the parts should be mounted on something to hold them as well. And then wash the parts. Yeah, washing is like a very, very important thing, with the builds, because here, let me see if I can zoom in more, because it's just one of those things where you don't want your model to have a reaction in the paint, because let's say you're touching all these different things and you keep touching the model and you keep just moving forward, but you never wash the model itself or the parts, and next thing things are reacting and you're like, wait, what happened? So that's really interesting right here. But like I said, guys, you guys could always pause it later and read through it. Let's go to the next page here. We have the primer application. For me, that's one of my favorite parts. Right after sanding, the primering is like, where you really start to see your model in those first steps of coming to life. Let me see here. Let me get one more. Boom. So we have primer application, a once body, and etc. have been completed. Mix lacquer primer approximately 1 to 2.5 with lacquer thinner, and allow the first coat to dry at least 30 minutes, then sand. Yeah, that's a good tip, because once you apply your primer, you do want to give it time for it to pretty much dry. That way it pretty much bonds with the body. It's like a marriage right there. You got to come together. They got to live together. You got to get along, Then we got step 3, apply medium second coat, then sand out dirt, mold lines, and imperfections. So now you're layering that next coat on there. Tamiya, rattle cans, also like if you're using Mr. Hobby, a lot of those primers are very forgiving. You could spray, cake it on, and it's pretty forgiving. It flows out. I've never had any issues with that. And the second coat is gonna help, so when you sand, you're not gonna burn right through that primer pretty much. And then apply a third medium coat, allow to dry overnight, 8 hours. Then do a final sanding with a 32,000 grit polishing cloth. Nice. Let's see. This is sufficient for all primer sanding. The primer will sand faster and better using water for sanding. Yeah, water sanding was a game changer for me back then. I never did it. I always was just sanding the models just dry as is. And one of my buddies started to tell me, try wet sanding it. This way you're getting a lot of the debris out. You're every time you dunk, like at the time I was using a sanding sheet, not the sanding pads. You could get some of that debris off as you're going, and everything just comes off, so that's pretty cool right there. Let's see. And then repeat washing instructions after priming, and I guess again, no use no tack cloth. And then reminder, use a test panel first. Yeah, the test panels are good. Let me see. I don't think I have a test panel right here, but I normally have like spoons laying around, or I recently picked up these little panels that are, well, they're more like little cards, but I believe they're made out of styrene from HIQ parts. And right there, you could spray out your different panels, and then it has a section where you could write notes, either with a pen or a marker, regarding what you added there. So this is section C, polishing technique number 1. Polishing may not be necessary if it is a start out the first using 4,000 to 6,000 grit polishing cloth. And then second, 8,000, third, 12,000, then polish them with 3M Imperial hand glaze part, and then finish. Must be totally cured approximately 2 to 3 weeks. Oh wow, okay. So this takes longer for the polishing. Let me see. But this is all good stuff right here, man. I have not tried it this way, but I'm like curious. I'm thinking, man, maybe I should get one of my models and try this out. Like I could continue doing the way I do my builds, but also do one aside and follow the guide here as well. All bare metal foil work should be done after polishing. Nice. Let's see here. Let me go to the next page. Oh, I like how you put reminder. That's cool. Test panel first. Let's see. Polishing technique number 2. All right. And this one, breaking down the different, the grits, and also, let's see here. Being polished. So yeah, this is good. I like that it has more information, you know, because a lot of times we're like, yo, you should just start polishing this and that, you know, and this one gives you some more insight, more info as to why and what for each step. And then I like how you added, Kevin, this last section where it says questions, answers, notes, right? And again, I like this reminder: use test panel first. That's funny. That's pretty cool. Hey, you gotta keep reminding us right there. Because a lot of times we just jump into it, you know. We just start painting, and then we could get lost. And it's better to test it out, couple tests just to see if we're gonna like it or not at the end. Hey, what's up, Carlos? Thank you for joining us right here. Let's see, Kevin Smith. This way before the dehydrator. And let me see. All right, let's see. This is page 4. This is polishing technique number 2. Page 5, we have basic painting with spray cans, testers, model, master, duplicolor, model car, world, etc. All right. And then it says warm-up can with hot tap water for 5 to 10 minutes. This will allow paint to flow out properly. Right on. Step 2, keep in mind when using testers and all other paints, all painting should be completed once it is started. Some paints can wrinkle up if it is allowed to dry too long. You must read labels on the products to find out the specifics. Primer may not be necessary for the model paints. All right on. Step 3, applying paint. Shake can vigorously, then apply with paint nozzle approximately 45 inches from part that is being sprayed. Yeah, there's a lot of good info right here. I think I might have a couple of cans of the Model Master paint or like testers in rattle can from back then. I think I held on. I never used them. I just kind of held on to them right there. Yeah, I have not used Duplicolor. You know, right now at the moment, I only just use the Tamiya primers and the Mr. Hobby primers in rattle can, and everything else is just airbrush with the House of Color. But that's cool. But like I said, if you guys can always pause it, screenshot this right here. This is a lot of good info right here. Thank you to Kevin right here. Let's see the next one. Nail polish application. All right. Let's see here. It says available at the beauty supply, drug stores, etc. 1 ounce bottles nail polish. And let me see. 1 pint. Okay, so with this you're using acetone. 100%, 1 pint. Okay. Well, yeah, it's like the acetone is what a lot of, is used to remove the paint or the, when girls are removing their nails or whatever. The paint color. Mixed ratio, 1 part nail polish, 2 parts acetone. May need more thinner depending on the temp. Yeah, I have not ever tried nail polish, but, now that the info's here, I'm pretty curious now to try something. Let's see. Apply nail polish color, 2 to 3 medium coats. Oh, Kevin, on this, what kind of clear are you using right here? As far as, does it also have to be nail polish clear, or can it be anything like a lacquer or urethane clear? And then reminder, I use use test panel first, spray 15 to 20 psi. Yeah, a lot of good info right here. Let's see. This is section G, page 7, lacquer paint application method. Supplies duplicate color paint, spray can, empty paint can from can into a jar and bottle. Do not puncture can. Oh, okay. This is like for decanting the can. It should be reduced with good quality lacquer thinner. Use lacquer retarder. It's helpful to aid in slowing down dry time to allow paint to flow properly. This also cuts down on orange peel. Option 2, acrylic lacquer paint can be purchased from local automotive stores in a pint or half pint quantities. Scrap paint can be used from a local body shop. They might let you go through their own leftover supplies. You know, I saw a video where this guy, he did that. He went to a body shop and they gave him a bunch of paint, like leftover stuff. And he had a bunch of different bottles and he basically was going to paint a project, a small little project based on those colors that he got for free, you know, and pretty much I think he was just doing the video to kind of prove, you know, like I got these for free and I'm going to paint this and I don't have to spend any money, you know. But I remember back then, you know, one of my friends, before I moved away from the city where his business was, I'd go to his shop and he would always be painting cars, custom cars, collision, anything, right? Urethane paint and also acrylic and a lot of water-based stuff. And he was always left over with paint. And I never bothered to ask him or even show up with like little glass jars to be like, hey, can I have some? You know, I never did. And I kind of regret that, you know, because it would have been interesting because he did mix up some pretty cool colors. And like some years back, even when I was doing this paint class and we saw Danny D mixing some paint, he made this really nice, it looked like a pistachio kind of color, like a really nice, like a mint green. And he mixed it up. He had it already like ready for anybody to use, right? All the students. And I remember Luis and myself were the ones that grabbed that color and we started spraying it on our skateboards that we were painting at the time. And same thing. I never even bothered to even ask, like at the end of the class, once the whole thing ended, like, hey, you know, can you hook us up? You know, so this way we could use it in a model, because even just having a small little jar of 46 milliliter of like Tamiya would have been great for like at least 2 model cars, you know, or even just the one. And we didn't even ask. And I remember talking to Armando Serrano, who was another instructor. And I was like, hey, what'd you guys do with all that paint after the class? And he's like, oh, we just left it there. We gave it to, the guy's name was Bustos, the guy who owns the shop where they were hosting the event. He's like, yeah, we just, you know, we don't need it. Like, that was all stuff that was part of the class. And then my friend Javi, he lives out there in Northern California, and he's always at that shop. And I was like, hey, what did you guys do with all that paint? And he's like, oh man, like we either used it or, you know, we took some home or whatever. And I was like, dang, I really wanted that mint green that he had mixed, you know, but yeah, you know, I've looked online to see what custom shops or paint shops are on here. There are some, but I still got to drive out at least an hour away or so, you know. But I don't know how they'll be. I think I need to be like, probably break the ice online, keep it cool, and then at some point be able to, you know, let them know what I do and kind of why I need it. You know, I just need a little bit of mounts, and I'm pretty sure they'd probably hook me up. But other than that, I mean, I got my own paint. You know, it's all good. But let me go to the chat real quick, guys, because I've been reading this, and let me see what you guys are talking about here. See, Carlos says, also on the tack cloth, when it is too new, it will leave glue residence on your body. But if you take it out, let it on the table for a few days, the tack goes away a bit. And then Kevin, can use clear on art polish or 2K once nail polish is well dried. Then Carlos, cloth dust, which is good. It will stay on the rag, but it will not leave any glue residue on the model. Cloth dust, which is good. It will stay on the rag. Okay, I'm just rereading that. Sorry. And then tack rags can be bad if it's hot. I've learned that in the body shop. Never lay a tack rag on a hot car. Oh man, I'm already imagining it like sticking to the car. Yeah, one time I went to Hobby Lobby and I bought a tack rag from there. This was like in 2015. And when I looked at the packaging, it already looked very oily, right? Opened it up, took it home, and it was nasty. It was very sticky. I threw that thing away. I was like, there's no way I'm going to like wipe my model with this, right? So then the one tack rag that I purchased, and even buying it right off, just feeling it out and just moving it around, like you open it up, you do the whole thing and then you kind of make it into the little ball, was from Model Masters. To me, that was like one of the best tack cloths I came across to use with my model builds. And I used it for a very long time. I always kept it in a little container or a bag after I was done using it, and I would store it away. Let me see. I think I have one here. Here we go. I got one here. It's crazy. We're talking about this. Here it is. So what happened was I was always using that one, right? And then eventually I knew, man, I'm going to have to buy a new one, right? So then obviously, over the years, Model Masters went away. I went to Burbank House of Hobbies in Burbank, and they had some for sale. And I bought one from them, which is this one here. And then I remember I bought it, opened it all up. And I really like the feel of it, It's not like so sticky or whatever, it's pretty nice. Open it up and everything. And whenever I'm going to just start using this on the models, I mean, I do get a lot of that debris, just like it collects like things or whatever. But I also use the airbrush to blow air into the model, get stuff out. And then I go ahead and start using the tack cloth as well. But yeah, this is my last one, the current one I use. And I bust it out once in a while, I don't use it all the time. It's just once in a while I'll use it on a model. But it is good to have, that's for sure. Let's see, let's go on the next page here. Continued from previous page, step 5. If you are doing a two-tone paint job, the smallest part is always the last color applied. Some like to do a lighter color first. This does not always work for every project. Step 3, repeat step 1 through 4 for application of clear coats. Pearl or flip-flops are to be applied in first applications to clear coatings. To be most effective, these will be mixed directly with clear coats. Pearls should be clear coated to seal them in. Yeah, man, I love pearls. Those are that's like my favorite effect. Let me see. Reminder, use test panels first. That's cool. All right. Oh man, this is the last page right here. Hold on, let me go back to the chat. Let me see. Kevin Smith says, I just never use the tack rag on a model. I ground myself to get rid of the static. Carlos, I know probably some of you guys know these. Primer and base coats do not create aesthetic, only clear coat dust. So be more clean when you're shooting clear coat than anything else before that. And then Kevin, just don't rub too hard. And then this is A guide, not the Bible. No, yeah, this is cool. Do you still have this like in I don't know, like in PDF or what program you use to like lay it out or Microsoft Word? Um, this is cool, man. Let's see. This is part H, automotive enamel application. It is awesome. The reason why I ask is just in case if like you ever needed to like update it or whatever in the future, you know. Um, it's almost like the tech sheets with anything. There's always like, you know, the 2.0, 3.0 and so forth, different versions. Step 1, mixed ratio ratio 1 part paint to 1.5 reducer hardener is required depending on manufacturer. It is applied over prime surface enamel, preferred lacquer, set air pressure to 20 to 25 psi. And then spray gun 10 to 15 psi at airbrush. Okay. And step 2, apply the nozzle 3 to 4 inches from surface. 3 passes for each panel or side. Let dry and flash over 15 to 20 minutes or when tacky or dry. And then repeat step 2. Desired coverage is acquired. I like to foil all trim before adding clear coat to seal the foil in. This keeps foil from peeling off. And then let's see here, we have apply enamel clear coat if required necessary according to the manufacturer. Pearls of flip-flops will be added to clear coats if this is the desired finish. Clear should be applied over pearls, etc. Catalyst or hardener may be added to these finishes. I may use Montana brand. And then step 5, use polishing technique number 1 if necessary. Cool. And then it says see next page. All right, cool. So then we have this is the very back of it. There's a tip right there for you guys, and then he's talking about for laying down fine line, the 3M tape. Nice. Graphics. And this one, sure you'll never have paint bleeding under your tape. Yeah, the 3M's dope. That's what I liked using. I see sometimes people using Tamiya tape, and yeah, you don't want to do that. That tape's not even like for that. It will bleed under. It happened to me once a very long time ago. I learned that lesson the hard way, and I was like, ooh, I had to fix that. The 3M, especially that green one. I always like to buy like a 2-inch, 3-inch size, and then cut the edge with the ruler and to size, you know, to depending what I'm doing. FBS tape is also another great company that for a moment when 3M, after the pandemic, they weren't coming out with their green tape for a while. That's when FBS kind of busted out with their own version, basically the answer to a problem, you know, right there. And now both are there, but I mean, 3M is still, you know, people are gonna be going to that for sure. I bought the FBS one too just to see, and they're up there. They're both pretty up there, neck and neck, you know. Let's see, and then Kevin says, no, I printed this one off my work computer before I retired back in 2001. Oh, what? I have 20 copies left. Feel free to copy and share if you'd like. Oh, dang. Thank you, man. I'm going to keep this, man. Thank you very much. So this is one of the original ones from that time in 2001. So it says here, revised April 17th of 2000. This is awesome, man. Yeah, I have like a folder. It's like it has like plastic pockets, so I'll be able to like slide that in there to protect it. You know, I think that's gonna be really cool, right there. And let's see here, guys. So, you know, tonight that was fun. We already did the magazine preview earlier on. If you missed out on that, the video will be up if you guys want to check that out. And then, you know, shared with you guys some of those, the new addiction right here, the tune cars right here. And now we got, you know, the Kevin Smith's guide to painting for scale modelers. Like this was fun right here too. I hope this helped you guys right here. Like I said, you guys could always pause that. And later on in the week, I will continue back on this build right here. Let me change the camera angle. Boom, right here. This is the Fujimi Laurel that we added the all the chrome trimmings on there with Hasegawa mirror finish. It's not bare metal foil, it's the mirror finish. Just making all the chrome pop. And this car is almost done. I mean, I just gotta finish up adding some things, and from there we'll be able to polish the glass, glue it on. Well, before I glue that on, I want to polish the whole body. I got some Meguiar's. I got my Dremel with my polishing pads and everything ready to go. And we're gonna get there. It's probably like, I don't know, 70% or 80% complete. It's almost done. I still need to finish the bottom there and everything. But here, let me see if I could tilt it a little. Right there. And this is just House of Color paint. I was just trying to do a regular box stock kind of style, just straight out of the kit. I mean, the kit's very minimal. There's not really much going on with it. Those are the wheels that came with the kit. There it is right there. Oh, this autofocus is killing me on this camera. So this camera is going to get replaced. I already ordered a new camera today. So I'm hoping I get it by this weekend or Monday. What's killing me is the autofocus. Like it just keeps like focusing. See right now. You see that? I don't like that. The camera I'm using above, this one right here. Watch, you're gonna here. Let me pause so you can see the camera. Look at that thing. That's the OBS bot right there. That little baby right there. Look at that. Look at that little camera. That thing is like the newest and latest camera right there. It's already like AI powered and everything. So a really cool camera. I ordered another one, and that one's gonna replace this one. So now I'll be able to zoom in, zoom out with my controller, this controller right here, and pretty much just be able to do a lot of things. If I do a hand signal to it, it'll just follow me or whatever, you know. But I'm excited to get that camera. So this way I need to have this angle, the top view, and who knows, maybe I'll buy another OBSBot camera and I'll have it over my shoulder or something. But little by little, I'm gonna be switching things up on here, you know, as I go. Let me see. Let's turn this on right now. But yeah, just having fun with this build. It needs to be polished though. I mean, the clear's already been sanded here. Let me get a close up like this better for you guys. Let me move this mirror. Things all annoying. Let's see here. Maybe I could zoom in. What am I doing? Lifting it up. All right. So you see the chrome trim. Right there. But yeah, we'll keep working on this one and just get it done, and that'll be it. You know, it'll be a one and done car, and then hopefully in the future I'll take it out, you know, to some meets, shows, whatever, you know, kicking it with friends and stuff, and just have another car to share. Let me bring out a flyer real quick, guys, because I definitely need to remind you guys and plug you guys in. Hang on. All right, so this show right here, mark your calendars. If you guys are planning to come out to Ventura, There we go. Here we go. Here, let me change my lighting, man. What the hell's going on? It's like too, oh, here we go. Let's make it a little darker. No, not the wrong knob. All right, cool. We'll leave it like this for now. So this is the first annual Left Coast Scale Classic 2026. Theme mini trucks, April 25th, 2026, Ventura County Fairgrounds from 9 to 3 p.m. This is a model car display and hobby swap meet. Admission $25. So this event right here, I got flyers, I got stickers. The dudes hooked me up. A couple of the homies that are running this show. It's going to be going down in Ventura County in Southern California. And, you know, pretty much all orders, online orders, putting these in the orders. So these are just like little, you know, little keepsake items right there. And that's going to be coming up soon. The show, I mean, we're months away. You know, this year is already flying by. This last Sunday just did the last show out here in SoCal. And, you know, beginning of next year, there's going to be lots of shows coming up out here in California. You know, we got Model Fest. We also have the Roadster show as well. They also have a little model car contest there at the Roadster show. We're also going to be having this event here, the Left Coast Scale Classic in April. And then in May, like the next week, there's also the SoCal Open as well in Chatsworth. And later, like some months later, there's also a show in Oxnard. That's going to be the IPMS show. And then, you know, so for the next month, there'll be another show over another IPMS show, the Orange Con, and so forth. You know, there'll be more and more. So there's a lot going on. But obviously, like, if you want to, you know, come out, hang out, whether if you bring your build or just bring yourself, you know, come kick it. This is going to be the one I highly recommend people to come out to. It should be a fun one, you know. It is going to be, pretty sure. No, I think it's going to be more like an NNL style where they do like picks and stuff right there. So this should be a good one. But yeah, guys, just want to let you know. I'm going to get ready to take off. You know, I'm going to chill out and hopefully tomorrow I'll be back. We'll see. We'll see what's up tomorrow with the schedule, how things go. But yeah. It should be a fun one. In case if you guys plan on coming out, you know, to a show, that would be the one. I have some friends that are coming from Hawaii. They're gonna be going to this show and they're gonna stay a week longer to go to the next show the following weekend as well. So that should be interesting right there. And you know, we'll get to see them both at both events. So I'm going to take off. I hope you guys enjoyed and had a good time. And I'll see you guys on the next one. You guys take care. Get that rest. And, you know, keep on building. So you guys have a good night. And thank you, everybody who tuned in right here and hung out. All right, guys. Have a good night. Peace out. Later.